This is Peter at Retrofret in Brooklyn, New York, to show you what's the basic characteristics of a banjo, what makes it a banjo. The critical thing that defines a banjo is that the head is made of skin, or nowadays they're made of plastic. But it's the only instrument that was made where the actual sounding board is not an integral part of the instrument. In other words, it's like the tires on a car. It can be changed, it can be broken. On a guitar, if you smash your top, you're in serious trouble. On a banjo, if the head breaks, you just put a new head on. So the defining characteristic of a banjo is that it has a rim like this, over which some sort of a flexible head is stretched. People think of the banjo as having 5 strings, but you can have banjos with any number of strings. But the traditional American banjo that everyone thinks of is a 5-string instrument like this. And the defining characteristic of the 5-string is that it has this little 5th string which mounts in the middle of the neck. There's a 5th string right there. This isn't actually fretted. So it's a drone note. When you're playing other chords, this string remains in the same note. And that's what gives the banjo its kind of haunting quality. It makes it not really what you call a chromatic instrument, which means you can play in any key. And that's what makes the American 5-string banjo different from any other American stringed instrument. And usually you'll see the neck is mounted to the rim with some sort of, on older banjos like this, it's a wooden dowel stick. More modern ones might use a metal rod or 2 metal rods. The head can be tensioned, meaning you can make it looser or tighter, which changes a little bit about the way it sounds. So each one of these hooks has to be tightened individually. Each one of these is tightened with a wrench, and that's what makes the head tighter or looser. So you have to adjust each one in turn. It's kind of like the same thing as a drum head, essentially. And when it's looser, the banjo is a little more mushy sounding, and when it's tighter, it's brighter. If you have to change your head, all this has to be undone, so it's a bit of a pain, but it's one of those things that in the life of a banjo will happen a number of times. Traditionally, older banjos have these banjo pegs that stick directly out of the back of the head instead of coming out to the side the way guitar mandolin pegs do. That's not a must, but that defines most older banjos. And generally the neck is fairly long and fairly narrow, as long as you're not playing like a short neck tenor or banjo uke or some other basically stumpier variation. So sum up what makes it a banjo. The skin head is the critical piece that makes it a banjo. Banjo rim has to be round because to stretch the skin properly, it has to all be pulling in one direction, which is out. So I've seen the occasional banjo somebody tried to make in a figure-8 form and it doesn't work, don't try it again. So round body, skin head, long neck. That's a banjo.